workers and forming their union at UCAN. So 50 years ago this month, it was a rainy day in Memphis, Tennessee, when 2 sanitation workers were crushed to death in the back of their garbage truck. That tragedy galvanized their co-workers to come together to demand the city of Memphis recognize their union, to improve their working conditions, and to treat them with respect and with humanity. Their iconic picket signs read, "I am a man." Dr. King saw that struggle as part of the civil rights movement.
That's right.
And he came 3 times to Memphis to support them. On the last of these visits in April 1968, King was killed. The sanitation workers carried on in Dr. King's name, and they won recognition for their union, which yet today stands as AFSCME Local 1733. And today, 50 years on, the workers here in this room and their co-workers are extending Dr. King's legacy by standing up for themselves, for their families, and for the young people that they serve. They are employees of UCAN, the ULIC Children's Advantage Network. And today, they are filing a petition for their union election with AFSCME Council 31. UCAN is a multifaceted private social service agency that serves at-risk children, youth, and families at sites throughout Chicago and Cook County, but at a main location in a newly built multi-million-dollar campus in the Lawndale community. These employees went public with their union campaign at the end of October. They have been met with fierce resistance from their employer when trying to exercise what is their legal and democratic right and the freedom to organize their union.
That's right.
You're going to hear from some of these workers about the work they do every day, how they make their communities a better place, why they are exercising their freedom to come together and have a voice on the job. We're going to hear in more detail about the virulent tactics that have been employed against them by management at UCAN. In early November, AFSCME filed charges with the National Labor Relations Board over this illegal retaliation, this anti-union activity. We stand here today stronger than ever and building this union because despite management's efforts, a strong majority of employees have signed cards stating, yes, I want a union. And once we leave here today, we're heading to the National Labor Relations Board to file our petition for our union election. We're going to hear first from one of those workers to describe the work they do at UCAN and why they are organizing. David Shields. David?
All right, David.
My name is David Shields. I'm a residential treatment specialist at UCAN. I've been there for almost 5 years. I love working at UCAN because I get to spend my days with the future youth that will lead our communities. We play the role of parents to these kids when they're sick, we're their doctors. When they need to be taught something, we're their teachers. I feel that it's so important for us to be there to help these kids who suffer trauma get through what they're going through. And me being a former ward of the state and being a former youth at UCAN, I realized the importance of having somebody, having staff that care, you know, having valued workers and what valued workers mean to the kids, because the kids can pick up on that. So we are organizing this union so we can have a voice, so the kids can have a voice.
Yes.
Because if we speak on behalf of the kids and we don't have a voice, who's really speaking on them? Management's not up on the floors with them. We are.
That's right.
So we're organizing for equal pay, better ratios on the dorm, better health benefits, more affordable health benefits. I've seen so many dedicated co-workers leave because of the lack of what I just said. I myself left because of the lack of what I just said. The only reason why I came back is because I was a former youth there, and I felt that my calling was bigger than money and everything. But I can't speak for everybody else. You know, we got people with families that they have to provide for and take care of. So we got to take care of ourselves and each other. So that's why we're forming a union here today.
All right.
Thank you so much, David. We deeply appreciate the support of all of the faith leaders who are helping with this campaign, standing with us today. Want to particularly single out all of those with the Rise Chicago, Reverend C.J. Hawking for her leadership. We're going to hear right now from Pastor Jason Coulter with the Ravenswood United Church of Christ.
All right, Jason.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Jason Coulter. I'm pastor at Ravenswood United Church of Christ on the city's north side. And I've had the distinct pleasure and honor of spending some time with some of the UCAN workers and hearing firsthand their stories, seeing their passion for their work, for the way they truly care about youth in our communities. And I was moved by their words and by their actions to form a union, to stand with them in support. So I'm here today in solidarity with them. I'm here to let you know that we have your back from the United Church of Christ. But not only that, I'm here with a very specific message for the management of UCAN. Now, some of you may know that it was well over 150 years ago that my church, our church, the United Church of Christ, founded UCAN as an orphanage for children who had parents that were lost during the Civil War. Over the years, that agency has continued to grow, to develop, and to do important, crucial work in our communities. And I praise them for the work that they do. But now they're working in the wrong direction.
That's right.
Now they're working against their own workers. They have hired an anti-union law firm that has used despicable tactics to beat them down, to try to influence their given right to form a union. And I call upon UCAN to stop it.
That's right.
The United Church of Christ, as an institution, as an organization, has long stood with workers and unions. In 1995, at our General Synod, kind of like a Vatican Council, if you will, we passed a resolution that called upon church-related employers to behave ethically in their dealings with their employees. Their first point in this resolution that was passed says, number one, you should treat employees as you would like to be treated. Now that sounds like something I read in the Bible once, right? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Yes.
The second point of this resolution says that they should resolve differences quickly. Right now, these folks have asked for a union. They should get one quickly without any objections, without any legal shenanigans, and they should be allowed to vote and make this decision for themselves. And third and final, it calls upon employers to seek win-win solutions. What UCAN management needs to realize is that their employees, their workers, are not the enemy.
That's right.
The union is not the enemy. They can be a partner in making UCAN the best organization they can be. If they would take some time to listen to their people, sit down across the table and negotiate a union contract with fair wages, benefits, and working conditions, I guarantee you, UCAN will be a better organization because of it. And it will be a win-win solution. So I'm calling on UCAN management to do the right thing, to respect and recognize the union, but most of all to treat their workers fairly.
Amen.
Thank you.
Now, pardon me, to tell us more about the anti-union campaign, the harassment and intimidation that workers have faced, I'd like to bring forward a case manager from UCAN, Crystal Gardner.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Crystal Gardner, and I'm a case manager at UCAN. I began my career with UCAN Residential a little over 2.5 years ago. I absolutely love my job and the opportunity to fulfill UCAN's mission of youth whom have experienced severe trauma can become our future leaders. Unfortunately, for the last few months, UCAN's priorities have not been on the staff nor the youth that we serve. Instead, they have been focused on spending time and resources fighting our right to form our union. UCAN has hired an anti-union attorney. They have held meetings about why we shouldn't have a union. They have sent us anti-union emails, and they've put out a host of anti-union flyers in the workplace where the kids live. Some of these leaflets are so distasteful, they even refer to the staff as roaches. So here. I myself have been targeted because of my support to form a union. I have had a flyer that was made with my picture as well as Dominique's picture, cut out claiming false motives. I've been yelled at, cornered, and intimidated by anti-union employees. My work has even been questioned, and I have faced enormous scrutiny by my supervisor. For example, in just one day, I received numerous emails from her because she refused to verbally communicate with me. I've even had another coworker threatened with violence and breaking of her car windows because of her support for the union. I want UCAN to allow employees to exercise our right to organize our union free of fear, intimidation, and harassment. Myself and my coworkers, we want to focus on the services that our clients need and on the mission that we believe in. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. An important voice for the community in Lawndale and the wider West Side is the Leaders Network. And now I'd like to bring forward from the Leaders Network, the Reverend Cy Fields.
Good morning. My name is Pastor Cy Fields.
Good morning.
Pastor of the New Landmark Missionary Baptist Church on the west side, East Garfield Park, as well as I serve as president of the Leaders Network. And I come this morning, I chose to come this morning once I received the invitation because I stand here today to support the workers' right to organize and unionize themselves in order to speak with power and a collective voice for better wages, for better conditions, and for better benefits. I stand here today to let UCAN know, the workers of UCAN know that the faith community stands with you, and we stand behind you as you seek to move forward in this unionization of yourselves. Now for me, this is, and for all of us, this is a moral issue. I'm able to stand here because this is a moral issue that is shaped within a business context. That's why Dr. King said we can get more organized together than we can get apart. And he says all labor has dignity. And that's why we stand here today, because we believe that there is dignity that's needed for all workers, especially these workers here in UCAN. For them to have to go through what they have gone through because they are taking a stand, which is their constitutional democratic right, and to have it opposed is an atrocity in these days and times. Not only that, but it kind of lines up with our current administration on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And I stand here today and says no more. Make no mistake, the faith community stands together with this community, with these workers. After all, God is a worker. He works every day on behalf of people, and he created us in Genesis to be workers. He said work 6 days, then take a rest. And so since God is a worker, he made us to be workers. We stand with workers who are looking to better themselves and to better their work conditions. But I also informed of Psalm 146:7 this morning in my meditation. I believe it wasn't by happenstance, but the Lord led me to the scripture which says, God executes justice and upholds the cause of the oppressed. You say, what do you mean oppressed? Well, I believe it's oppression when you seek to keep workers from moving forward to better themselves and better their labor conditions. To say no to union is to say yes to labor oppression. To say no to union is to say yes to economic injustice. To say no to workers' freedom is to say yes to an outdated, sinful, master-slave business model. To say no to union is to say yes to income inequality, and we say today it ends no more. You can't scare people who are standing for their dignity. You can't turn around workers who are standing for a better life for their children and their families. Oppression comes in many forms, and all of these tactics and all this opposition is another form of oppression that we, the faith community, will not stand for. It's their constitutional right to assembly themselves, to association, free speech, and petition, and we're going to stand for what is right. The faith community, today, we want to let UCAN workers know that we stand with you in solidarity. The Leaders Network, we stand with you. Even my church on the corner of Wilcox and Washtenaw, we stand with you in this fight for what is just and right. One of the more valuable lessons that my parents taught me as a child, they said, "Si, there's more power in I can than believing that you can." So you can, workers, you can overcome this. You can, management, we believe you can do the right thing. Workers of UCAN, keep on standing, keep on fighting, keep on believing. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. Today is only a big step in filing for this union. It's not the last step, but it's only one step in the continued journey to organize and to stand and to unionize for a better place that you can. So in the spirit of civil rights, I say, don't let union busters turn you around. Don't let lies and false accusations turn you around. Don't let threats turn you around. Don't let flyers, pamphlets, and all types of emails turn you around. Don't let the anti-union busting lawyers turn you around. But as they said back in the 60s, keep on walking, keep on standing, keep on gathering till you get what's rightfully yours. We stand together with the UCAN workers in this fight for their unionization. God bless.
Turn me around, turn me around, turn me around, ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on walking, walking down the freedom road.
All right. We have been joined by candidate for Cook County Commission, Brandon Johnson. Brandon, do you want the opportunity to come up and say a few words?
All right.
There's one thing we need besides more organized workers is more elected officials who understand the importance. Brandon?
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm glad to stand in honor of our history. And our history is very clear that the interest of workers, civil rights and labor rights, Dr. King made it very clear, when those two forces come together, we have an enormous potential. That potential has to be realized in this moment, particularly for black women, where I teach and the community that I live in, where 87% of households are headed by black women. Any attempt to undermine the interests of black women is an undermining of our community.
That's right.
So as a black man raising my family on the west side of Chicago and Austin, of course I stand in support, and it is my honor and privilege to stand for the interests of workers. Thank you. You can. You know what you need to do. But more importantly, workers, we know what we need to do. Being told no has never stopped the advancement of the shoulders that I stand in. And so we continue to power forward, even in very difficult times. Thank you.
And on that note, we can go file our petitions at the NLRB.
All right.